now from his enlightenment. Just whether it's true or not, be true to the truth, that's all. Satya Barami.
อยากให้คุณสุกินเอาดีเขาอีก
คุณสุกินมาเหรอฮะโอ้ยดีมาก สวัสดีค่ะ
Maeve sent a message to express her gratitude for the timeless commitment to sharing the Dhamma and how she's found all the discussions very engaging, of a great benefit. And she also asked me to pass her appreciation to those who have participated. She can't join today, and her gratitude especially to you and John and I and everyone for the discussions. I just saying that maybe in brief, Maeve sent us a note with her appreciation and said she found the discussions very helpful and also appreciated the participation of everyone.
Good morning, Achan. Good morning, everyone.
I don't know if you saw, Prakash, I put a message on DSG about foul, asuba. Actually, it's from one of the chapters in my new book that you will get. And after talking about how all formations are impermanent, and then how all are unsatisfactory because they're all like a continually oppressed, like a disease, a tumor, a dart, and so on. And then all conditioned dharmas are foul, are subha, because they are objectionable, stinking, disgusting, repulsive, unaffected by disguise, hideous, loathsome, and so on. So even the ones that are desirable and the object of clinging, even for the wise, even great kusala, they are all asubha, all foul in the deepest sense. And Lucas has actually asked a question about this, which I've only just seen. He asks whether asubha is in fact the same as dukkha, perhaps putting it a more way of abandoning clinging. It's true that whatever is dukkha is also asubha, unsatisfactory, because it's gone, not worth clinging to. I'll wait to see if he joins and then he can bring up his topic. And a friend in Vietnam asked about where it said that any chitta that arises in samsara is really foul, and Jonathan quoted a good sutta which I have here in Anguttara. Just as the Buddha said, just as even a trifling amount of feces is foul-smelling, so too I do not praise even a trifling amount of existence, even for a finger snap. And then just as even a small amount of urine or saliva or pus or blood are foul, so I don't even praise one moment of existence in samsara. So for the very wise, there's the turning away from whatever is conditioned, wholesome or unwholesome, nama or rupa. Nothing worth living for, life after life. So for those who have abandoned all ignorance and attachment, no more continuation in samsara, because they've seen the truth.
And this is the kind of turning away that is conditioned by insight. So I think many people have the idea that insight conditions turning away from a kusala, but that's not really the situation. It's a turning away from all conditioned dhammas, from every aspect of life in samsara. Whether kusala, akusala, vipaka or rupa. And that's why any moment of the understanding of any reality contributes towards the overall understanding of the unsatisfactoriness of life in samsara, which is what leads to the final enlightenment, also referred to as cessation or the beginning of cessation, because it leads to the cessation of the arising of conditioned dhammas, the five khandhas.
So that's implied in the understanding of the third noble truth, would you say?
In what way?
In the sense that there's an understanding of the first noble truth, the danger of the second noble truth, the path, and the path leading to the ultimate eradication of all causes for arising. Yeah, so that's the path, right? So I'm saying the third is eradication. So there's the understanding of eradication, appreciation of eradication, when there's the understanding of some level of dukkha, the cause of dukkha, and the understanding of dukkha, as Sarah was saying, is closely connected to the understanding of asubha.
Yes, I think so too. And there's the understanding that the goal is end of whatever is conditioned and the cause of what leads to the conditioning of further realities. So like yesterday, we talked about how wonderful the teachings are. But if we talk in terms of absolute realities, what are the teachings? The teachings are that seeing now the first noble truth, whatever is conditioned is dukkha and is foul, and the path is the development of the of understanding the factors that leads to the end of arising of any conditioned dharmas, because they're all foul and unsatisfactory. This is the teaching. Yes, I agree.
Just a quick point there, Mr. Kim. The third noble truth is dukkha nirodha, which is cessation. And Sarah, that word foul in the Pali, it's subha and asubha, so beautiful and not beautiful.
Yes, and what is said to be foul is every conditioned reality. Yes. Like in the quote I just gave from the Visuddhimagga, what is dukkha is also foul. And Trevor, you had a question about this, if you'd like to ask it, because I didn't have time to look at it properly.
Yes. I was wondering, just reviewing my question in my head, over the all conditioned realities, the first one was whether asubha is the same as dukkha. It means the same thing, which it seems to mean the same thing.
Yes, it's a different emphasis, but that which is dukkha is asubha. So all conditioned dharmas are anicca, and therefore dukkha, all are anatta, and all are asubha, not worth clinging on to. That's why there is no value in the continuation of life in samsara. And as you mentioned yesterday, the vipalasa is the wrong perversion that what is foul is actually taken for beautiful in this sense.
Yeah.
We can still talk about desirable, undesirable objects, experience objects, which are the subject to clinging more often, but in the deepest sense, whatever is conditioned is asubha.
And that does make sense. And the second part of the question is more of I wanted to know a response to a certain kind of interesting view that I've heard before, that some people kind of seem to think that asubha is kind of like a way of seeing dukkha, but not dukkha itself, which is confusing. And also there's
Sorry,
this
could you
idea
just repeat it? There was a little interruption here. Could you just repeat
yes.
that? I didn't catch it.
Some people that some Buddhists that I've listened to before kind of have this idea that dukkha and asubha are the same thing, but from the perspective of someone who has hold on. From the perspective of someone who has perceived everything as is perceiving reality as dukkha, anicca, anatta, that they aren't beautiful or disgusting, they just are. And that's kind of a popular view that sort of is in Buddhism today. And like, I was wondering what the appropriate response to that would be, that like, it's when it's not clung to, it's not really a source of suffering. Is that does that make sense as a question?
So the rupas of the Buddha's body, no clinging as far as the Buddha was concerned, but those rupas are still the object of clinging by others. So whatever is conditioned to arise can be the object of clinging. And one other small point about asubha and dukkha. So the anagami has no more clinging to sense objects, there's no more taking what is foul for being beautiful, but only the arahat no longer takes what is dukkha for being sukha. So the vipalasas are radicated at different stages, so there has to be some difference there. And Jonathan's about to add a comment.
Well, Trevor, on
Okay.
the point you ask about asubha and dukkha and just awareness, I'm thinking that there's the general view that words like dukkha and asubha apply some dosa, some revulsion towards the thing, which is a misunderstanding of the meaning of dukkha. As we said, it is nothing to do with suffering on the part of the perceiver of the reality, but it's an intrinsic aspect of the reality itself, namely its unsatisfactoriness, unworthiness. And the same with asubha. Asubha, or lack of beauty, as to give the literal translation that I think Sundra was indicating, is not a quality of foulness in the conventional sense. It's an absence of anything attractive, but because we do cling so much to those realities, it's drawing our attention, or it's the quality of lack of attractiveness, contrary to how we normally regard things. So, and there's another aspect that I've picked up that people generally hold about development of understanding, and that is the non-reactive aspect of things. So to their understanding, again a misunderstanding, there shouldn't be any reaction. The goal is to not react to sensed or objects, for example. Any kind of reaction to their view indicates a lack of developed understanding. So this again is a misconception, because there must be reaction. It's in the nature of the mind to think about what has been experienced through the sense door. And so I think that's the answer, that there needs to be a better appreciation of what dukkha really means.
Yeah, I think, Trevor, I think that's some really good points that Jonathan's made there, because this aspect of foulness or asubha, people can get taken away by literally the conventional idea of what unpleasantness is, or and that is dukkha. It's a conventional idea. It's not the sankhara dukkha, or the fading away of dhammas at every moment. That is sankhara dukkha, and that truly is, as Jonathan has alluded to, is asubha. That is just its nature. It's not something that is conventionally unpleasant, and I think this often happens with people, who have, as I read it, only grasped Dhamma in quite a superficial way. It was Tanajan yesterday asked what were the last words of the Buddha, and I wasn't cognizant of it at the time, and I thought about it afterwards, and he was reminding bhikkhus of this very point, because his last words were Handadani bhikkhue, which is, well then bhikkhus, Vaya Dhamma Sankhara. That was the second part of that, Vaya Dhamma Sankhara, which is that all dhammas perish immediately. Upon arising, they perish, they disappear, they vaporize. And then he encouraged the bhikkhus, Apamadena Sampadeta, which is a lot of people are mostly encouraging people to strive with non-grasping. The word is apamada, which literally means with non-madness, because what happens, people get so addicted, it's kind of a madness to the object that appears. It's a kind of a giddiness, or a type of drunkenness, he was encouraged the bhikkhus, and of course by extension to all of us, that realities are innately not worthwhile. In that sense, they're asubha too. Thank you.
Sundara, you use the word unpleasant for asubha, but isn't unpleasant more appropriate for anitha, whereas asubha is not beautiful? They are two different things.
Well, yes, in a strict sense, the word, I hear where you're coming from. I was just trying to, it's about opposite. Subha, as you said, can be translated as beautiful or attractive. We use different words in English, and of course we've got the su in front of it, which always means like your own name, referring to something superior, something above. And then, of course, you've got the in front of it, which indicates something that's opposite to that. So, yeah, yes, I hear what you say, Sukhin. Thank you.
Excuse me, wouldn't it be probably more, and rather than talking about that the dhammas are foul and all this kind of thing, wouldn't the object is that there is a sense of upekha to all the objects, dhamma objects, rather than the idea that it's foul.
Or when
so forth.
we can say even at moments of understanding of the dukkha nature of dhammas or the foul, the asubha nature of dhammas, actually understanding usually arises with pleasant feeling and joy. Mm-hmm. Good to know the truth, good to know it's not worth clinging.
Yeah, it's not worth clinging.
Yes, so it's not a matter if there's any idea of unpleasant feeling or being repulsed in a conventional sense. This is not understanding the nature of dhammas.
Exactly.
But Betty, when you talk about a sense of upekha, it sounds very much to me like the idea of not reacting to the object, and
well,
that's
but
a
upekha
mistaken
is
view.
No, it's not. It's not reacting. It's more like there's neither lopa nor dosa.
Well.
All right, but that's yes, because we usually pick hairs here. So
No, it's not a picking hair at all.
Are you using upekha as referring to the neutral feeling, or are you referring to it as equanimity, or what are you?
Equanimity.
Okay,
equanimity.
Mm-hmm. But there's equanimity with every kusala chitta. So yes. When there's kusala, there is equanimity, no restlessness, no dosa, no lobha. So equanimity always arises with kusala, but it can be with joy and pleasant feeling, moments of understanding a little more about the truth, that it's just a dhamma which is gone and unsatisfactory, foul. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but is the awareness that the reaction is happening a form of upekha, or like is it a form of equanimity to kind of it's different because it is different from reacting. It's being aware that there is a reaction, but like it's not the same exactly as reacting. It's just being aware that reaction is happening, right?
Well, I don't think we can think of it in that way. It is neutral feeling or equanimity of mind, but as equanimity of mind, it's a wholesome quality. So one can't, by practicing, learn to react with wholesome citta to what's going on. It's just not possible. So, but this is the goal that some people have, or this is some people's idea of developing understanding, is to not react in the normal way as they might normally do.
Like intentionally not react.
Intentionally not reacting. Yeah. Yes, good, thanks. Yeah.
And with understanding, there will be non-attachment, non-aversion. So maybe that's the aspect you are coming from. There's no aversion, no attachment, but that's not the same as equanimity.
I think the point that Jonathan made there was a good one, because people often have this idea of non-reacting, which they believe to be kusala, which is another example of what we call wrong practice. So just because you don't react to something, can just be another form of attachment, and obviously sometimes aversion. So I think we need to be cautious when we hear these things like non-reaction, because it does bring up this idea of control, which is not in accordance with the teachings and can be called type of that silabbata paramasa, this clinging to an idea that we think will get us to the other side, but it won't. And this is can be a deeply ingrained quality amongst certain practices that are quite prevalent within the Dhamma these days. Thank you.
Yes, I think that's a good point. Who is it that is not reacting? That's the point. I shouldn't react. I'm not reacting. I will have equanimity. It's not the study. It's not the understanding of dharmas. It's not apamada. It's not sati at that moment.
And usually we think in terms of situations, and that's very misleading.
Another good point, Sukhin. Yeah, we do. We're very situationally based and not considering the nature of the Dhamma that appears. So it's done from this perspective of an idea of a person who can, dictate literally.
Okay, Prakash would like to say something.
Yeah, you said a situation which is misleading. What do you mean by that actually?
Like just now Trevor was talking about having equanimity. He assumes that since there's no anger or means equanimity, but that's thinking because of thinking in terms of situations. When we talk about realities, if it's there, it manifests, then only can we know that it is there.
Okay.
Just because there's no reaction
doesn't mean that there is equanimity.
We're thinking in terms of situations, not this, therefore this.
Okay.
It doesn't mean, of course, that it has to be kusala. Usually quite the contrary. Thank you.
There can be non-reacting with ignorance, like now. Is there any reacting? Is there any understanding, or just ignorance?
Yeah.
Ignorance with neutral feeling. So neutral feeling is not the judge. Ajahn, anything you would like to discuss or mention?
I think that the truth is beyond our thought or imagination or considering. That's why how many lopa mula citta, the citta arises with attachment, be different. How many kinds of lopa mula citta? See, sometimes it is not as pleasant right now, but when the object is so pleasant, at that moment there is attachment which arises to that object with pleasant feeling. So very pleasant. Miss Universal, at moment of seeing her, pleasant or unpleasant, and someone crippled, the eye and everything is not as usual.
Yes.
Can it be object of attachment? That's why each moment is conditioned. For example, now, who knows there is attachment? Indifferent feeling, not pleasant. But when the moment of pleasant feeling arises with attachment, how come? Experiences a pleasant object, ittaramana. And when it experiences the object which is not as pleasant, right now it's indifferent feeling. Can anyone force or have the pleasant feeling arise now? Impossible. by conditions. And that's why kusala citta experience the object which is pleasant, ittaramana, and the akusala vibhaka citta experience the anittaramana, not pleasant object. Bad smell, see, what experience it? But the fragrance, the very good smell, different moment by aramana paccaya, whether it is ittaramana or anittaramana. Is it true? But no matter what, in the ultimate truth, all gone, just arise and falls away. So the foulness of whatever arises and falls away is that it cannot be permanent at all. That's all. That's the meaning of different meaning of foulness. So when the feature or the face is so beautiful, what is beautiful? The hair or the ear or the nose? Cut it and give it to someone. Is it beautiful? See, that's why I learn to understand different conditions for each moment, because there must be pleasant object conditioned by kamma, citta, uttu, and ahara. What impinged on the eye base has arisen before seeing. So it's conditioned by, it can be kamma or citta or uttu or ahara, who knows? No need to know. But the moment of that which experiences the object is just the reality which arises to experience, that's all. And no matter what object is pleasant or unpleasant, it's that which has arisen and fallen away instantly, that's all. So even the meaning of foulness has to be different degrees. When it is the reality which just arises and falls away, it's not beautiful when it falls away. That's why just learn to understand more than just what we think about. Like the object, ittaramana, is different from anittaramana. Then there must be conditioned to be ittaramana or anittaramana.
Conditions to be either the desirable or pleasant object or not, but actually, because each one falls away, each one is asubha, foul. Whatever is conditioned is foul, not worth clinging to for an instant, like the bit of pus or bit of urine in the deepest sense.
So now, is the object of seeing pleasant or unpleasant, ittaramana or anittaramana? Who can tell?
Possible to know at this moment.
But
it arises
seeing
and falls away so quickly. Seeing knows exactly as it is.
That's all. Only seeing.
Only, and the next moment seen is different visible object. And if one tries to pinpoint or catch or find out, it's the wrong path. And usually we make assumptions. We make assumptions that the mango is a beautiful taste, or the chili is an unpleasant taste, or that now we're in a Dhamma discussion, so pleasant visible objects. These are all just stories about situations. None of it is about understanding Dhamma now. That's why the only judge of what is pleasant or unpleasant is the karma that conditions the seeing or the kusala result or the unwholesome result.
Is the mango sweet? The truth is the truth.
Sometimes yes, sometimes not. Depends on each taste, what is experienced. Sometimes it looks so beautiful and then there's a taste and it's not quite the pleasant object that we thought. So each moment is conditioned.
In what condition mango to be sweet?
Utu.
Nutriment.
That's why we learn what rupa conditioned by what condition. For the eye bears, it's conditioned by kamma, right? Even different colors by kamma.
Reva, were you about to speak or anything you'd like to ask?
It's so what does condition the mango to be sweet, or the chili to be bitter or spicy, or bitter, I suppose. But
All the rupas outside the body are conditioned by utu, temperature. So
and nutriment. Right?
not nutriment. If it's
Not
outside the body, they're conditioned by temperature only. But the taste, the flavor, arises in a group of rupas. So the Mahabhuta rupas also condition the other rupas in that group. The earth element, the Patavi Dhatu, and the Teju Dhatu, and the Apo Dhatu also condition the rupas in that kalapa. So the kalapa is conditioned by utu, not by karma, not by nutriment, not by chitta. So the taste, the flavor is conditioned by utu, but also by the other Mahabhuta rupas in that kalapa. Each taste is different.
The kalapa being the group of
The group of rupas that the taste arises in.
Okay.
If it is the rupa that arises in the body, it can be conditioned by temperature, utu, by kama, like the example of eye sense that Ajahn just mentioned, by nutriment, as you mentioned, like if we eat no food, the rupas of the body cannot survive, and by chitta, when one's angry, it conditions the rupas instantly.
That I was thinking of a little bit. How does chitta, as opposed to kama, like condition something to arise?
Right. So particular kinds of rupas are conditioned by kama. Eye sense, ear sense, nose sense, tongue sense, body sense, for example, are all conditioned by kama, heart base, masculinity, femininity. These are all rupas that are always conditioned by kama, not by any other condition. But, for example, now when speaking, the sound is conditioned by chitta at this moment. If it's the sound outside the body, like the sound of a waterfall, is conditioned by temperature, but the sound now when speaking is conditioned by chitta. When the rupas, when making a gesture now, like I'm moving my hand now, conditioned by chitta, those rupas.
How temperature conditions taste of a fruit, mango or chili, which is very spicy? How utu conditions that?
So, as I mentioned, it auto conditions the group of rupas, but also the combination of the Mahabhuta rupas in that kalapa condition the taste. How much heat, how much hardness, how much cohesion, how much motion in that group condition the taste too. So each moment is different degree of heat, different degree of hardness, for example.
I think what you're asking is, why is a mango conditioned to be sweet and a chili conditioned to be
and temperature
spicy?
is a
Temperature
conditions
is the same
that.
condition.
How is that?
So as far as I know, there isn't an answer to that question. And I also would add that speculating about it isn't going to lead to anything.
It is a curious question, of course.
But you can understand that different degrees of temperature makes a difference to all the Mahabhuta Rupas and the Rupas that arise with those Mahabhuta Rupas. So taste is something that arises with all Kalapas or Rupas. So it changes with depending. There's a difference depending on what condition, if it's heat, if it's temperature, what degree, what all these things.
And Prakash,
Oh, I think you're muted.
Sundara, we can't hear you.
Sorry. What might be useful to bear in mind, what are called the niyamas. There are 5 of these. What you're asking is sort of similar to the question is, why is fire hot? And Jonathan, I believe, correctly pointed out, these are almost unanswerable. That's just their nature. Then it's their nature to be hot. And beyond that, it's difficult to go. There are many other of these, there are other niyamas also, like when the Buddha announced that he was going to die, or when he did die, there is an earthquake. That's called Dhamma niyama. I'm not quite sure of all. There are 5 of them, but they just talk to the nature of things. That's the way they are, and that's what happens. But no doubt, in some respects, like Sarah has alluded to with Kalapas, Kalapa just means a collection or a group. So no doubt, ultimately, the Buddha may be able to speak to these areas and lend a little more detail. But as Tanajan would point out, this is just speculating to a certain degree or thinking about all sorts of things that are not so conducive, and we're forgetting, as Tanajan would remind us, of the reality that appears, which helps us get closer to the truth. I will look into these niyamas laterly, and I can talk to that later, but what we're talking about often is just the nature of things, and that's the way it is, and it can't be changed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like people ask, why does this cheetah follow the next cheetah? This is typical question because of niyama. It's the way it is, that it has to be the adverting consciousness followed by the seeing consciousness, followed by the sampatichana, then the santirana. It has to be the particular order and way it is. It can't be any other. And yes, what's more important? Understanding taste as it is now. For example, at the moment of sipping the water, understanding taste, or trying to work out why the temperature is such that this taste is like this. Taking further and further away from understanding the truth.
Yes, and it just reminds me of that the bhikkhu Malankya Buddha, who wanted to know all these different details of things, and the Buddha said, imagine, Malankya, there's a fellow who's been shot with a poisoned arrow, and that fellow would say to the people who came to help him, don't take that arrow out, I want to know who shot it, what is the arrow, what wood is the arrow, what twine around the feathers, or the fletcher who put the feathers in, all these details. And by the time you'd answer all those questions, a fellow would die. And the Buddha said it's dealing with the reality that appears. That's what will get rid of the arrow, not just wanting to know all the details. And the Buddha said to him, he said he would disrobe unless he knew who was the clan of the person and all this thing who shot the arrow. But the Buddha calmly pointed out to him that these areas are not important. These are not important to know about. What is important to know about is to develop the understanding that will get rid of that arrow. And that takes, as we know, great patience. Thank you.
Agree with you. Completely agree with you.
Trevor, do you have any more questions you would like to ask Jan and anyone?
The last one was mostly answered by the last quotation, and about it was essentially about why does knowing I can understand why knowing somewhat why knowing something in the present moment for what it is important and why it matters. And the more difficult question I've been asked before is why does knowing about about all the different kinds of chittas, all the different kinds of citasikas, all the different kinds of rupas, their combinations, their interactions, their conditions, like why that matters and what's it for? Because I've been asked by that, I've been asked about that before, and I was, my response was that the idea is that you develop understanding that things are not you and that they're not controllable, that they're not permanent, by understanding that they're made up of these tiny fleeting things and their conditions.
Yes, the point is
yeah.
the understanding that dhammas are anatta now. It's not a matter of collecting details or remembering the numbers or what arises with what, but just appreciating now no one there to react or not react, no one to make a big effort or no effort, because there are just different chittas, chaitasikas and rupas rising, falling away by conditions. If there are conditions for right effort to arise now with understanding, it arises. If there are conditions for wrong effort with wrong understanding, it's by conditions. None of them belong to me. It's not my good practice or bad practice or my understanding or lack of understanding, not me that's messing up with life or hasn't got the right goals. Just different dhammas arising and falling away. Just this very moment now. That's the point. Letting go of the baggage of self.
Yes, and in addition to that, knowing the conditioned nature of realities, and also, of course, there are three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. I think it goes beyond knowing that there is no one or no self, because that knowledge is gained by the stream enterer. But the stream enterer is just the first stage of enlightenment. So to gain final enlightenment, there has to be further and deeper understanding of conditioned dhammas as just conditioned realities. And this comes back to the turning away we were talking about earlier. Seeing conditioned realities as they truly are, and seeing this life as being nothing more than a collection of conditioned realities. Conditions are turning away from wanting to have that continue, turning away from giving it any, according it any worth. And so there is a turning away from the conditioned towards the unconditioned, which is nibbana. Turning away from that which is known by its nimitta only, that which can only be known by its nimitta, towards that which is without nimitta, and so on. So I think people have the idea of enlightenment as being a state where their akusala tendencies have been eradicated, but life would go on more or less as it was, and it would be living with a lot of understanding, and continuing to live. So there's no conception in some people of anything beyond having eradicated the agusala tendencies. There's no appreciation actually of the real purpose of understanding being that seeing the conditioned nature of realities and seeing them as being worthless, and this leading to the ending of life in samsara, which is something that they may not particularly have considered.
Trevor, just I'd like to add to what Jonathan and Sarah has said there, that it's a very useful question about knowledge in a way. Of course, there is knowledge and there's knowledge and there's knowledge. I feel that it's really important because knowledge can help us to discriminate, to scrutinise what we hear. Is it in accordance with the Dhamma? Because people can say all sorts of things that really does not match up with the Dhamma that the Sammā Sambuddha taught. So that for one reason, that can be really useful. Another aspect of it is that many people, there are two aspects here that we've talked about before, I believe. One is called Samuti Satya and the other one is Paramatta Satya. Most people are really only aware of Samuti Satya, about conventional truths, and the Dhamma reveals to us deeper truths beyond what seem to be apparent. And Tanajan always points out to us, it's only because of these Paramatta Dhammas that we have this idea of a conventional world, of conventional people, of conventional whatever. So these knowledges are useful because they help us to tease out what is true and what is not true. And just because, and I think this was brought up yesterday or the day before, because a teacher may seem to be kind and good, and that's good in itself if they are indeed kind and good, but that's something we cannot read by ourselves. We can have some idea and sometimes we might be correct, but ultimately the Dhamma is very subtle. And I was thinking of that word just the other day, subtle, the first three, the prefix, that word is sub, it means underneath. In other words, the Dhamma remains hidden mostly to us. And it's only when we surround ourselves with good friends, but most importantly, a good teacher, that we're slowly able to tease out what is truthful and what is not. It's a slow process, a very slow process, but we need to be patient. And like the questions you're asking are really helpful in enabling us to tease out what is the path and what is not the path. Thank you.
Ajahn?
Is there any understanding of what is now appearing yet? Never. Because
this is why the Trevor or Sundra at home who were the last ones who were speaking.
yeah.
Oh, understanding now. Not quite yet.
Is there any understanding of what is now appearing yet? Not yet, right?
Not yet, no.
So shall we begin to understand the truth of it, because this moment is so true? So what is there now appearing? Little by little, again and again and again. Otherwise, each moment couldn't be understood at all.
Seeing,
so
touch.
What is there now, this moment?
Yeah, seeing, touch, hearing, thinking.
Is there enough understanding of seeing now?
No.
That's why just one reality should be studied, to have a little more understanding, because there is seeing every moment, no understanding of any moment of seeing at all.
When you say, John, that one reality should be understood at a time, do you mean, for example, seeing?
When seeing is there now, shall there be the understanding of other thing else? Not seeing. And that which is seen
No,
is
because
right now. Shall there be the understanding of other thing? Not that which is seen.
well, no, right? Like, no, it would only be understanding. If there was understanding, it would only be understanding of seeing.
So we just talk about it, but not realizing the truth of it yet. But why do we talk about it again and again and again? Because if there is no understanding of what is there now, there cannot be the understanding of anything next moment at all. That's why seeing now should be studied, should be learned little by little. Otherwise, it's moment of forgetting again about what is there right now from moment to moment. Is that right? So what is there right now can be studied to understand the truth. Is seeing the reality which appears now?
Yes.
Again, is seeing appears now? Is seeing now appearing as it
Yes,
is?
but
As it is.
as it is, no. As it is, no.
Can it be known? Can it be realized? Should it be realized?
It
Otherwise,
can
there
be.
cannot be any understanding of the world, of what is there at all. So now, begin again and again. What is seeing?
What
To
is
be
seeing?
reminded, to be moment of attending to the characteristic of seeing, because there is seeing right now. Without attention to the characteristic of seeing, begin to understand what it's meant by it sees.
Okay.
So even just the word it sees is a little more understanding of it, no one.
Hmm.
See, so this moment, seeing sees, for sure.
Hmm.
And seeing is conditioned to arise to see only, is that right?
Yes, but the conditioning is what throws me most of the time. I don't quite know what conditions seeing for it to arise, how
But
it interacts with the rest of
yeah,
the five, with the other five.
but in truth, what is there? Learn little by little to understand a little more of what is there at moment of seeing. So what is there at moment of seeing?
Visible object and what cognizes it.
No matter we use the word visible object or not, begin to get closer to the nature of visible object as not anything at all. Not people, not anyone, no glass, no table. Is it true that what is seen, just that which can be seen only? So again, what can be seen?
What is seen?
What is that which can be seen, which is seen now?
Color, colors, color, and they're all
Did you say hard? Kevin,
He said colour.
but also it sounded like after that he said hard, no?
no color. I
Color.
said color.
Okay.
I said colors and then corrected myself to color.
Just what is seen, just what is visible. And you asked why the visible object is seen now, not the other sense, right? Because if the visible object has impinged on eye sense, karma can only condition the seeing to see it. It can't condition the hearing to hear it because it's the visible object that's impinged. If a sound has impinged on the ear sense, karma can only condition at that moment hearing to hear it. it can't condition seeing to experience it, because seeing can't experience sound. So it depends on the rupa that has impinged on which sense space as to what is experienced at this moment. When there's sound, when sound is impinged, then as a result of karma, hearing is conditioned to arise to experience sound. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
Anything else, Trevor, or that's it for now?
I mean, one more if that's okay. It's interesting that seeing is zeroed in on here. That seeing is is the example given, because all the other senses, it's they go by so fast, and like seeing, there's this they go by so fast. Like hearing sound, you can tell when it's gone. You can tell when it's gone like instantly, and you can tell when a touch kind of fades, or like a pressure on the body or on a part of the body fades or gets there and fades. And you can just taste is almost instantaneous and then it's gone. But seeing, there's this illusion of kind of just everything being there in front of you, like table, chair, face, phone, computer, wall. Just like there's these illusions of solidity around when you see, like your whole field of vision takes in everything, and it's just very difficult to reduce all that. So I guess I'm asking why seeing is zeroed in on here.
Well, I think that's possibly the reason, because it's so easy to assume continuity and what the texts call compactness, that is, different objects. Whereas, as you say, with hearing, for example, it's more obvious that what is heard a second ago is gone already, because the sound is different, especially if someone's talking like this, different words. Whereas with seeing, the assumption or appearance of continuity and so forth is so easily made, and yet we appreciate that the seeing consciousness and the process through the eye door must be the same as the process through the other sense doors also. So that's one reason why I think seeing is taken as the example here.
And also because there is seeing now, all the time. Is there tasting now? No. But there is seeing all day. And what is the object of such great clinging all the time? What is seen again and again and again? And if there is understanding of what is seen, the visible object, and the seeing, then there's understanding of the other doorways just the same, exactly the same.
Okay.
I mean, as Sarah said, it's because for us who can see, there is seeing, even now as we're talking, and there's sound and everything, but in between the seeing, like constantly, and we're communicating. I have to look at you, and you have to look at me, and it's happening all the time. On the other hand, if Thanachan was talking to a blind person, she may talk about hearing. So it's going to be different, yeah.
I think it's a good question that you ask there again. And of course, we know that there must be other realities. Otherwise, we can't just see, because we wouldn't be able to think, we wouldn't be able to hear, we wouldn't be able to consider. So we know that there are other Dhammas arising, and we have this, idea of continuity, or as Jonathan pointed out, this aspect of compactness that seems like there's just one Dhamma, but we know that can't be true. So we must, as Tanajan often alludes to, is be truthful to the truth and develop the understanding and the confidence over time of the reality that appears. And in time, I believe, with patience and the accumulation of that saddha or confidence, these dhammas will become apparent. That seems to be the path to me. And wondering sometimes why it seems like it all the time. Well, yes, that's certainly seems certainly true. But as we know, a lot of things that seem true or seem to be true are not necessarily so. So with the understanding of the Dhamma, that intellectual pariyatti understanding, we can develop understanding of the Dhamma that appears, whatever it is. As you said, seeing is very common. The Buddha talked about this often. And in some suttas, he just talks about seeing and hearing. He doesn't talk about the other three. Sometimes they're all lumped together. The smelling, tasting, and touching, they're often lumped together because they're not so common. Yes, they do arise, obviously, but the Buddha often talk just about seeing and hearing because they're apparent and they are occurring, or they are arising. And for that reason, the Buddha drew our attention to them so that they could be understood better as they are. Thank you.
Okay, we've got questions, people waiting to ask questions here. Go ahead, Ramesh, yes.
See, in one of the Buddha serial I watched, Buddha shows a lotus flower to the bhikkhus, like
That's Mahayana.
Something. Only one person, I think Moggallana or something, he understood the Buddha's lotus flower and he nodded his head.
That's not in the Theravadan scriptures. That's Mahayana.
I don't know.
Yes, Mahayana. It's nothing to do with Theravada.
Yeah, that is the now I am correlating this thing is seeing only understood by the Moggallana or something. One so that is the exact meaning and understanding of seeing or something.
What about now? Is there understanding of seeing now? This is all that matters. What is seeing now?
Yeah, and also the Buddha, there's this concept of paratogosa, that the voice of the other. You have to hear the Dhamma. The Buddha in Theravadan traditions, in the Pali scripts, does not talk about holding up a flower because that's just a conventional idea and it doesn't help us to penetrate to the truth. It's all very, very seemingly very attractive, but it doesn't fit within the Theravadan tradition or within the nature of Dhamma.
Yes.
So we have to hear. You have to hear that, except the Buddha himself, of course, and we know that Pacceka Buddhas, they do not have to hear either. But for everybody else, it's called paratogosa. You need the voice of the other.
Right, thanks. Ramesh, that story that you told us, what does that tell us about the nature of seeing? It doesn't really tell us anything about what seeing now is, does it? It tells us that only that one person appreciated what seeing was, but it doesn't help us to understand what seeing is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the point.
I thought only the person who understood seeing, so that's why he nodded his head. So that is what my understanding.
Well,
but
that
maybe
may be so, but it doesn't help us to know what is seeing. What did he understand that other people didn't understand? That's what we're trying to get at.
In truth, is it a person that understands seeing, or is it a Dhamma that understands seeing?
Dhamma.
Okay, so what is the Dhamma now that can understand seeing?
Seeing as it is.
Seeing as it is. What understands seeing? Does a person understand seeing, or what understands seeing?
Chitta understands.
No. only panya, right understanding, can understand the nature of seeing. And the point of discussing, like now, I just asked you what is seeing now, is so that the panya cetasika, the understanding, can begin to develop, to become more familiar with the nature, the characteristic of seeing. Seeing is a citta, but the panya is a cetasika. So seeing now is just the Dhamma which is conditioned to arise and see what is visible. No one there, no one doing anything. Nothing so incredible. It's just here and now, just the Dhamma which arises and sees and then is gone, different from the reality, the Dhamma which is seen. So the point of the teachings, back to Trevor's question, is to understand what is Dhamma right now in order to let go of the idea of someone experiencing, someone having amazing experiences, or how did this one person do this or that. It's to understand what is seeing now. So panya develops to begin to understand it.
And another comment is that if the story is suggesting that only an arahat can understand the nature of seeing, then I don't think that's in accordance with our understanding of what the Buddha taught, because he taught that all conditioned realities are to be understood, and that understanding obviously can begin at a beginning level long before it reaches enlightenment. So it has to, if there couldn't be understanding of seeing by the unenlightened person, then the person could never become enlightened.
There would be no point in talking about these dhammas at all. It can begin to understand what seeing is right now, different from how we've always considered it. We've always thought, I see, I hear, I see a cup, and so on. So beginning to consider and understand that it's just the Dhamma that arises now to see the reality that's impinged on the eye sense and then gone, here and now.
Yes.
A little more understanding right now. Ajahn, would you like to continue?
Is seeing real?
Seeing?
Is it real?
Yes.
Is it a Dhamma?
Yes.
And that which is seen, is it real?
That which is?
And that which is seen, is it real? The reality which is seen, is it real?
Yes, real.
Is it a Dhamma?
Yes.
And we are talking about understanding that which is seen now, right? At the beginning. So now, are we considering about that which is seen? To understand that it's a Dhamma, it's real. And what is the reality of that which is seen? Do you need the word or the book?
No.
So now, it's seen. What is it? Is what is seen real?
Yes, real.
Is it a reality?
Yes, real.
Is it Dhamma?
Yes.
Can it be studied?
We can study.
It's there now. Who knows? Without hearing about the truth of it, the ultimate truth of that which is seen, to let go wrong understanding of that which is seen as usual. So, what is the reality of that which is seen right now? We are talking about this moment in order to begin to develop the understanding of the truth of what is seen as it is. Otherwise, it's no time to consider the truth of it. So now it's time to consider the truth of that which is seen, because it's real, it's a Dhamma. What does it mean, it's a Dhamma?
Anatta.
Right, no one. So it's not you who sees.
Seeing is
not that
Chitta,
which...
chitta and chetasik.
No, not at all. That's why we have to talk about now again and again. Seeing is a reality which arises to experience the object clearly, right? Without seeing, we can think about black and white and on, but it's not the moment of seeing at all. The moment of seeing sees that which is seen, even there's no word about it, what it's seen. But it's seen now, is that right?
Yes,
By conditions.
yes, right.
So, what is seen? The truth of it, which is now appearing, begin to understand Dhamma, the reality, which cannot be taken for anything permanent at all. So that which is seen, is it permanent?
No,
Why is not permanent?
it arises and passes away.
Okay, now, is it known now, arising and falling away? Is it directly experienced, the arising and falling away of that which is seen now?
Chetasika experiences, right?
That which is seen is not the seeing, right? That which is seen has arisen now and fallen away instantly. That is the anatta-ness of whatever arises and falls away instantly. So how can it be taken for something or atta? Because it's before its arising, no seeing, and after seeing has arisen, it falls away instantly, just like the moment before it arises. No seeing anymore. So it cannot be taken for I see or anyone see, seeing just right to see. And that which is seen, does it also arise? That which is seen, does it arise?
I didn't get. I didn't get
The
question.
Dhamma, the reality that is seen, not the citta, not the cetasika, the reality that is seen, what is visible now, that reality, does it arise and fall away?
That's why we talk about it again and again and again, to have firm confidence of the truth.
I think we've said before that it does arise and fall away, but that isn't directly known, right? We are told that the visible object arises and falls away, but that rising and falling away has not yet been directly known.
Actually, earlier when Achan asked you, is that which is seen real? And you said yes, and I wanted to come in and ask you, what is it that is seen? What is it that is seen?
I didn't get the question actually.
Seeing is real.
Yes.
That which is seen is real. What is seen? Seen experiences an object, right?
Yes.
It is a reality.
Yes.
So that which seeing is experiencing, is that also real, a reality?
That object.
No. Is an idea.
I think there's a communication problem. As you know, there is a moment of seeing, and it's accompanied by cetasikas, and it experiences an object, the object that is seen. Is the object that is seen a Dhamma?
Object that is seen.
Is what is seen by the seeing consciousness, is that a Dhamma?
Yes.
Yes. Does that Dhamma arise and fall away?
Yes.
Yes. Because any Dhammas we're talking about arise by conditions and fall away. we've discussed how there are three kinds of realities now in daily life. Chittas, the lead in experiencing the object. Cetasikas, the mental factors that arise with citta. And the rupas, which cannot experience anything. So the seeing experiences the object that is seen, a rupa. It arises, it falls away.
Yes.
It doesn't know anything. Gone.
Yes.
Yes. So whenever seeing arises, it always experiences that particular rupa, the visible object,
Yes.
which is seen, which arises and falls away. The seeing arises and falls away. The cetasikas arise and fall away with it, and the rupa, which has been seen, arises and falls away.
Yes.
Is the visible object or that which is seen a microphone? Is seeing a microphone?
Yes.
Is that the meaning of Rupa Dhamma? That is seen.
Microphone is not Rupa Dhamma.
Is a rupa seen? Sorry, is a microphone seen?
No.
No. I think there's just a little bit of misunderstanding of the communication. Is a cup seen?
Is an idea.
It's an idea. It's
Yes.
not seen.
Yes.
Is a table seen?
That is also an idea.
It's an idea. It's what is thought about afterwards. So
Yes.
it's just what is visible that is seen.
Yes.
Not a microphone, not a cup, not a table, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Microphone does not rise and fall away. What rises and fall away is visible object.
Okay.
Right?
Does the thinking which thinks about a microphone, does that thinking arise and fall away?
Yes. Yes. Rises and fall.
Why? Why does the thinking arise and fall away?
It is chitta.
It's citta. Is it a Dhamma?
Yes.
Is it a reality?
Yes.
So it arises and falls away. The microphone that is thought about is just an idea. So
Yes.
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 Is there Dhamma now?
Yes, Ajahn.
Is there Dhamma now?
Yes, it is.
At moment of seeing, what is Dhamma? That's why we have to learn just one word at a time to have firm confidence of the truth of that word. For example, citta. What is it? See, not just follow the word and think that there is the understanding of what is heard, but just one word, listen carefully, and when someone asks about it, it depends on understanding, whether there is understanding or not yet. For example, when I say, what is citta? No answer yet. Is citta real?
Yes.
A little. See, what is citta? And citta is real. If you don't know what citta is, can you say that it's real? It's not just remembering only about the word citta and cetasika and what condition what, but the nature of citta is so very subtle. It's there from birth, never lost at all. There must be condition for citta to arise, one after the other. Even right now, is there citta?
Yes, it is there.
What does it experience?
Yes, it experience.
It experiences what?
Now there is citta. What does the citta experience now?
Experience cetasikas.
What is citta now? Give an example of citta now.
Just one word, citta.
What is citta now?
Seeing.
Seeing, right.
Yes.
What does seeing experience?
You remember that citta is seeing. So when one asks you about seeing, you know that it's citta. Because you heard that citta, the seeing is citta, see. But what is citta?
And is seeing an experience? Seeing, is that an experience?
Yes.
Yes. And does it experience cetasikas? Yes.
Not other word,
Okay.
not other word yet, only citta.
Chitta which experiences.
So seeing is a citta.
Yes.
It experiences, it's experiencing. Is it experiencing a cetasika? You just said citta experiences a cetasika.
Cetasika yet, please.
Jan doesn't want to go that way.
Not cetasika yet, just only citta.
I think Shukin's point is that any experiencing involves citta, is done by citta in chief. So any kind of experiencing, whether it's seeing or hearing or smelling or tasting or touching or thinking, it's all citta.
Would just like to discuss more about citta itself.
And you just answered that citta experiences cetasika, so that's why I asked.
But that's not what Ajahn would like you to ask.
Is citta easy to understand? Even it's there now.
It's a bit difficult.
That's it. Very, very difficult. No matter we say a reality, because it's real. Arises to see, to hear. It means to experience an object. Because there must be the object of that which experienced at that very moment. Is there sound now?
Yes.
Is it citta?
Yes.
See, listen carefully. Sound cannot experience anything, isn't it?
Yes.
So sound cannot be citta, the reality which experiences an object at all, never. Is that sound?
Yes, it is there.
Does it experience anything?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Okay. Is there citta now?
Yes, it is there.
What does it experience now?
Seeing.
Just listen again. Is there citta now?
Yes, it is there.
What is citta now? I can change.
You can do anything. I think he gets the basic idea, but he's not yet at the level where he can sort of answer these different questions so quickly. But and it's all just memory at this point. It's not.
While I talk with him personally, he do answers these questions.
Yeah,
He do
sure.
answer it. Yeah,
When I ask him, he answers it.
no, when I speak
When
with him in
Shukina
my
asks,
local
he
language,
doesn't-
he will able to understand. When I speak with him local language, he will able to relate that.
Yes, I'm sure that's
I also
right.
think I also think that, like, if you're having a moment where you're blanking and where you're not exactly like what's being said isn't exactly coming through, like it does help to give yourself a break sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, and then come back to it, because you do remember, like you have like you do like like it does accumulate. What's being said does accumulate. It just does help to give yourself a break sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's okay for you guys at home. You can switch off the the video, but Ramesh here doesn't have that
Right,
option.
yeah. I'm just saying for future reference, like in terms of studying, like he doesn't need, like nobody needs to really like lock in and study completely uninterrupted all day, every day. Like it can be, you can kind of just,
Yes, and this goes, I think, Trevor, for the whole of one's study of the Dhamma, doesn't it? Because we were talking when you first came on board this time around about getting carried away by pursuing things to the ultimate, to the nth degree, and all sorts of thinking and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a man speaking from experience, right?
So Ramesh, now,
Yes.
what is chitta now?
Chitta is seeing,
Seeing, yes. What else?
listening, hearing.
Hearing.
Yes.
What else?
Tasting.
Tasting, although only when you sip your water. And what is heard now?
Sound.
Can sound experience anything?
No.
Why not?
It's thinking, Chetasika.
Why can't sound experience anything?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ.
That's why
it doesn't have chitta.
It's not chitta, it's not cetasika, it's a rupa.
Yes.
So it can't experience anything at all. Yes. And one more question. Is the sound that is heard now, is it Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Mahayana, Hinayana, Theravada, Hindi?
It's neutral.
It's just sound.
Yes.
So no matter whether one's ever heard of the Buddha's teachings or not, no matter what tradition one was brought up in, the truth is it's just sound that is heard. Not a voice, not a noise, just sound.
Yes.
Yep, good. Ajahn.
That's why we have to come back again to one word, chitta.
Which experiences?
Okay. Does chitta like you?
No.
Why not?
It needs Chetasika.
But the question, no.
Your questions are always confusing.
The question is about chitta. Why not?
Pardon, Ajahn.
The question is about why not. Why chitta cannot like anyone at all. Not just the word, because it's cetasika which likes, that is not the understanding. But why chitta cannot like anyone? When we use the term, you can answer. Cetasika likes, not chitta. But why chitta cannot like anyone?
I don't know, Ajahn.
Why seeing does not...
Again.
Actually, you do know, but it's just, for example, you know that it's a cetasika that likes. Why isn't it chitta that likes? Why can't chitta like seeing now? Why can't it like as well as see? Why can't hearing like? Why can't thinking like?
Because it's not chitta's function to like. It's chitta's function.
The seeing just sees. That's it. It just has one function, to see. The hearing just hears. It doesn't like, it doesn't dislike, it doesn't touch, it doesn't focus, it doesn't feel sad or happy. It just sees.
Yes.
So you know this, but it's...
Why all are mixed up? Because not firm confidence or firm understanding of just one reality. So now again, besides seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, what else is chitta?
Thinking.
All right. Can cetasika think?
No.
All right. Can it experience the same object as the citta which thinks? We go on, just one more word.
Once again, Ajahn.
Jack, because you know the answer. Yes. So the chaitasikas that arise with the thinking, do they experience the same object?
That's not his considering of thinking. It's the differences between citta and cetasika and rupa.
Chitta, which experiences. Rupa is an idea, object.
Rupa experience anything?
No.
No. What about chaitasikas?
Chetasikas, they. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಪ್ಪ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ? They'll
Maybe take a step back. How many kinds of reality there are? Kinds, broad descriptions.
Rupa, Nama, Chitta, Chetasika.
Chitta and chaitasikas are namas, so chittas, chaitasikas and rupas, right?
Yes.
So the chittas experience the object, rupas don't experience anything. What about chaitasikas? Are they nama or rupa?
They are Nama.
Nama.
So
okay.
what do they experience?
That's giving him the answer.
They experience taste.
Right. So the attachment now is a chaitasika. What does it experience?
Attachment is real, isn't it?
Yes.
You don't have to use any word.
I don't have to? Yes.
It's real.
Yes.
But we learn to understand the truth of each reality. If we don't use any word, we don't know we are talking about what kind of reality. So, no matter what, is it a Dhamma?
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes, it is a Dhamma.
So, citta is Dhamma or not?
Yes, it is Dhamma.
Why?
It experiences. It's a reality.
Okay. And cetasika?
Also Dhamma.
Why? See, that's why we learn little by little to understand the truth. Because the truth is so subtle, it's not just the word. But for example, there must be a reality right now. One appears at a time. So now, what appears?
Chitta.
Citta does not appear now at all.
What is experienced now?
Seeing.
Seeing experiences. What is experienced?
Chetasika.
So there is citta now, seeing now, and what is experienced is the visible object.
Yes.
So the visible object appears now.
Yes.
Not the Cetasikas, not the citta, the visible object. But in order for the citta to see the visible object, there must be Cetasikas arising with the citta to experience the visible object.
Yeah, citta needs Cetasikas arising together with it in order to experience the object, and Cetasikas need citta in order to experience the object. So they always arise together, depend on each
Experience
other.
the same object,
Experience
fall
the
away
same
together.
object, fall away together. So getting back to thinking, which we were discussing earlier, thinking thinks of ideas, thoughts. Both the citta and the Cetasikas have the same concept as object. So if there's thinking of a flower, then the idea of a flower is the object of both the citta and the Cetasikas that arise together. If there's liking of the flower, then the same thing. It's citta and Cetasikas arising together, and it's the Cetasika that likes, where the function of the citta is to be the chief in experiencing the idea. And the Cetasikas each perform different functions, such as liking or focusing or remembering and so on.
Color. So,
When I ask what the object of attachment is now, so at a moment of seeing what is visible, immediately afterwards the attachment with the thinking is attached to that colour or the idea of that colour, what is seen. So, as you said, Cetasikas are namas. They arise with citta and experience the object.
yes.
Can citta experience that which is not there now?
No.
Can citta experience nibbana?
It is a tough question for me.
Otherwise, nibbana cannot be known.
But not now.
But not now. But the question is different.
Yes.
Yeah. A little more about citta again and again in the afternoon, I think.
Last session, priority for citta and Right. We'll